Hello and welcome to Indelible Gaming. I'm Tommy and today I am reviewing the Nasudake U12 Bluetooth earphones by Yamaha Limited. So these guys did reach out to me again. I have previously reviewed one of their products, the truly wireless Bluetooth earbuds, the J7s. If you want to see that review, it is in the comment section below. Anyways, they're excited about this product as well because it's a different type of wireless Bluetooth earphones with the wire attached and has an IPX-7 rating, which is pretty exciting, and it's relatively cheap, coming in at $30 to $60 depending on sale prices. So without further ado, let's dive in. So the first thing that I like to talk about is the marketing material and the specs for the device. There's a lot of specs, so I'm going to list those here, and I'm just going to go over a quick overview of all the important ones and why you should buy this device or what would make you interested in this device. My script is to the right, so that is what I'm going to be reading off of. Starting off, it's got Nano IPX-7 waterproof design with 100% sweat-proof, rainproof, but are not made to be used underwater. Great for running, jogging, hiking, biking, gym, etc. I will be talking about this a lot more a little bit later in the review because I don't like the fact that they use waterproof design, because literally nothing on the planet that is electronic is waterproof. So it really should say water resistant up to a certain spec depending on what the manufacturer says. And this manufacturer says that it's actually not supposed to be used underwater, and you should actually take that into account, because I did that and now mine aren't working the right way currently, because I did try to test them underwater, just, you know, to take the hit for you guys. Anyways, moving on, the superb sound quality headset and Bluetooth version 4.1 mode plus EDR regulation for stereo sound and superb bass sound, clear high and low volume, best wireless earbuds sound. Headphone possesses one or two multi-point function, which allows connecting with two different audio devices. Strong wireless signals suitable for ease connecting to audio devices within 33 feet. I think that is also 1 meter. And durable battery for non-stop music playing up to 5 to 7 hours with low battery alert function. And the last thing is it charges within 2 to 3 hours, and pretty much almost every single one of these, actually I'd say all of these, are completely accurate, so it's not like they're lying other than the waterproof thing, but everybody lies about the waterproof thing, so it's not necessarily this company's fault. Moving on to the packaging for this guy. So on the front here, you've got the actual U2, and it gives you a little bit of information here, shows them right there. And then on the back, which I absolutely love, is a super in-depth spec sheet that you can look at for, and then their contact information. So just slide this guy open like so, and then you open the box like that, and then right in here it'll actually be showing the earbuds. Since I've already opened it, the earbuds aren't in there obviously. And then underneath here you get a replacement buds, your warranty and like user guide, and then a 10% off coupon, which you guys can use. Whoever uses that first, you got it, because there it is. I'm not going to use it. And you also get a really nice charging cable. I do like the charging cable quite a bit. It's actually a really nice high quality charging cable, although it is very, very short. Aesthetically, I think these guys look pretty good. They're nice and small and compact. For the sides, you can see it has their Nasudake branding right there on it, and then it's got a two-tone matte black with a glossy black finish. And then on the actual fronts, it says left and right, and then what facing you, they have a little plastic right there, and then the ear tip themselves. On the back, they've got absolutely nothing, and then on the bottom you've got nothing except the volume on the right one, and then there is the top. So the left earphone itself has absolutely nothing. The right earphone itself has the charging cable right there on the top, the MFE button, which is a click right there. On the bottom you've got your volume up, volume down, and skip track forward and backward. And then the cord itself is actually attached to the over ear tips, or whatever you would call them. Most other ones of this design actually come from the bottom. I don't know if that's actually going to be better just because it gives more give if it does get stuck on something, or if that would tear out more easily. I'm not completely sure, but it could also go all the way through there into these, which in that case would make that very stable, and just based off of the flat cable that's in it, I'd almost say that is probably the bet. Moving on to the actual feel of the device, the matte portion of these guys, if I can get my hand out of the way, is actually kind of a rubber feeling, which I do really like. When you put them on themselves, they are pretty comfortable. They're not the most comfortable because these ear tips, I've had more comfortable ones. I can't talk right now. And then this plastic piece is actually smaller on these than some other ones, which makes them a little more comfortable. But after a certain amount of time, they do hurt my ears. So this is kind of what it looks like with them in my ears. Like I said, nice and low profile. And then it has a really long cord, and it does actually come with a small little circular device that you can put the cords in, so you can shorten or tighten this as much as you want. So that is a plus, but overall these feel solid. They don't feel cheap. When moving on to the buttons themselves, on the right one, if I'm trying to jingle back and forth the volume keys, they give a little bit, but not a whole lot, not enough that you're going to hear them jiggling if you're running or anything like that. They have a nice little click to them when you do depress them, along with the MFE button, which is all super good stuff. And then you can hear the click, and there's actual audible tones for the click when you do it, which is all pluses. So overall, the aesthetics and the feel for these guys give a thumbs up. Alright, so let's talk really quick how to use these guys. It's super simple. It actually has quite a bit of features, especially for the price tag. So the first, everything that you need to know is going to be on the right earphone itself. If you hold the MFB button, which is this guy right here, for 3 seconds, it's going to turn it on. If you hold it for 3 seconds, when it's already on, it's going to turn off. When you hold it for 3 seconds and it powers on, it'll say powering on, and then it'll say connected when it connects to a device, and automatically goes into pairing mode. So if it's not already connected to a device, then you don't have to hold it specially to go into pairing mode. I really like that. The setup for this was super ridiculously easy, and when you already have it pre-connected to a device and you hold it for 3 seconds, it pairs almost instantaneously. And by that I literally mean you hold it and it says power on, and then it'll say connected. Like, it's super fast. For volume up and volume down, of course, it is these little guys right here, and then in order to skip a track or go back for a track, you just hold it down and then it'll go back. If you want to call the last person in your phone, you double press the MFE button. If you want to answer a call, you press it once. If you want to end that call, you press it once again. If you want to play or pause music, you just press the MFE button once to play it or to pause it. And then in order to connect it to 2 different devices, you would turn this guy on, connect it to your first device, then turn off the Bluetooth of that first device, and then you would turn on the Bluetooth of your second device, and then you would connect these guys to that second device, and then you'd turn back on the device 1 that you originally had this connected to, and then it'll be connected to both of them. And then this also has call quality, so when you're calling people, it does come through both of the earbuds themselves and does have a microphone. Alright, so let's talk about performance, because if these don't perform well, then what's the purpose of buying them? So I did the walk around test, which is me just walking around my entire house, which includes a basement and a upper floor. So I walk around all of that all across one end of my house to the other. For the most part, this did pretty good. I had a few drops, but it really wasn't anything terrible. You have to keep in mind that Bluetooth's not supposed to work super great through walls, and me walking around my house means that I'm walking through walls, which means it's not supposed to be working super great, so having drops is to be expected. However, out of the 3 Bluetooth devices that I have done with this same type of packaging, between the Beats X, the Monocos, which is the review before this if you want to check that out, and these guys, unfortunately for the Bluetooth and drops, these guys performed the worst. But it really wasn't that bad. When it was actually in direct shot of my phone, I never lost any, I didn't have any signal drops or anything like that, so that is a plus. Like I mentioned just previously, turning on and connecting to the device is super quick and snappy. It's also very easy to connect to new devices, so that is excellent, no problems there. I also really like the voice prompts for this. I wish more electronics had voice prompts, honestly, because then you actually know what it's trying to do or if it's not working or not. So it has a power on, connected, power off, disconnected, and battery low prompts, which are all very good, and the voice quality that they use is kind of a woman, and it actually sounds pretty good, so props to them on that one. When actually using the MFE button, or the go forward or go back or volume up, volume down, all of that always worked super well for me, except in the shower. Comfort in general was good. I didn't have any problems with it really, other than it starting to hurt the inside of my ear, but I think that's just a problem when you're having plastic like this that's rubbing up against your ear for an extended amount of time, but it really wasn't bad. I also didn't have any reactions to this rubber. Rubber is nice and soft for the most part. It's not super soft, but it's not like hard either. Let's talk about the IPX-7 rating really quick, because my understanding, originally, according to the specs and everything that I saw on the internet, an IPX-7 waterproof rating is supposed to be able to work up to 1 meter in a pool for up to 30 minutes. However, this is a super misleading spec because it's not waterproof, first of all, and that 1 meter for 30 minutes is in a super controlled environment that is going to be very different than in real life. However, because I'm reviewing this product, I wanted to put it through its entire paces, because my whole thought of an IPX-7 waterproof rating is, hey, can I use these in the shower? I would say don't use them, period. For swimming, for sure, after me pretty much breaking them in the shower. So spoiler alert, they are no longer, they're working. I'm still getting sound. However, none of the actual buttons to turn it on or off, volume up, volume down, skip, etc. are working anymore. But I also did a few stupid things. So anyways, my test was to go into the shower. I was going to spend less than 30 minutes in the shower, and I was going to try to merge them for a certain amount of time and take a shower like normal, as if I wasn't wearing any type of earbuds or anything like that, because I figure there's going to be a lot of other people out there that are wanting to do the same thing. So I wanted to really put this through the paces, and my goal for this was to break the device and make it not work, because if I was able to do everything and it worked just fine, then we should be good. I did shower with this twice. The first time that I showered with it, it was perfectly fine. The second time was a little bit longer. I immersed it for a little bit longer, and I did something even stupider, which I knew I shouldn't have done, because you should never do this because it can break the seal, but I started to press the buttons on the device itself in the shower. So don't ever do that with any type of electronics, because that allows water to get into the device, just forewarning. But I wanted to try it, like I said, because I was trying to break the device itself. And at first, it was fine, so if you just do it really quickly once or twice, it should be fine. But if you continually do it, or you do it a lot, then you're probably going to break the device. It constantly, once I started messing around with the buttons, it was perfectly fine if I wasn't touching any of the buttons and I wasn't having any drops, I wasn't having it stop playing music, I wasn't having it powering off. But once I started playing with the buttons, it started to skip and go back on songs. The volume up and volume down wasn't always working, and when I was pressing play and pause, it wasn't always registering those, or it would register a double press or things like that. So that's when everything started to not work. And then since then, it also started to power on and off a lot, and then I would turn it back on and it would connect, and then it would turn off again after a certain amount of time. And now the buttons don't work at all, but I'm wondering if after a certain amount of time it will start working. If that is the case, I'll leave a comment below for this video, but I just figured I should let you know you can use it for showering. It's not necessarily recommended, especially since the manufacturer themselves say that you shouldn't use it underwater, and you should always check what manufacturers say about a device if it's IPX-7 or whatever, because iPhone 7 is actually IPX-7 rated as well, but that's also not meant to be underwater for any amount of time either, or used in a sink or whatever, unless if, like I said, the manufacturer actually says that it should or not. So you can use it in the shower. The first time I did it, it was fine. But don't press any buttons if you are using it in the shower, and just know going into it that you might break your device. Anyways, moving on to the sound quality, which is the other most important section of this. The comfort's pretty good, the cost is there, so it's hitting 2 out of the 3. So how's the sound quality? I think overall, quickly, it is great. I would say for this price point, it is very good. However, it's not going to blow your socks off. It's not going to be amazing. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to be like, oh man, these are way better than the $150 pair of Bluetooth earphones that I bought. because that's not the case. The Beats X, which is my standard for what a Bluetooth earphone should sound like, sound way better, but these sound pretty good for the cost of them since they cost considerably less. I think the Beats X are $150 and I think these are $30 to $60, so just keep that in mind. Huge price difference there obviously, but you are getting better things with the price increase. But overall, if you're looking for a cheap pair of Bluetooth earbuds or earphones, I highly recommend these. Out of all of them that I've tried, they're even better than the Monaco ones that I've tried. Anyways, to get more specific about the sound quality, the highs are pretty good. I want to say it has overall a V shape, which means that the bass is more pronounced along with the highs, and then the mids are kind of recessed. And I did a lot of testing. The hip hop and rap actually was the best for these guys because these have really good bass. However, I think the bass is a little overbearing and it kind of drowns out the instruments and vocals and high points. However, cymbals and stuff like that sounded really good, but certain instruments didn't. I want to say overall that it had pretty accurate sound quality, where I wasn't getting, you know, a cymbal sounded like a cymbal. It didn't sound super terrible. So I would also say, like I said, it's kind of more of a warm / neutral sounding thing with accurate sound, with bass being the heaviest and then highs kind of being in there with the mids recessed. There is muddiness to it. It isn't perfect clarity or anything like that. The muddiness isn't super bad, but I think that's mostly caused from the bass being overbearing. And lastly, what was the last thing I want to say? Oh, there is some separation where you can hear like male and female vocals or multiple vocals if you're listening to pentatonics or something like that. I listen to pop, hip hop, rap. I don't think I listened to any country. And then I listened to some rock. And I think that was about it. So listen to a whole bunch of genres. The ones that had more bass in it definitely was way better. The ones that didn't have any bass with it were the worst. So that's it for sound quality. Lastly, so let's talk about personal pros and cons. I'm going to list them right here so you can read them and just skip over this part if you'd like, but I think they're comfortable. They have a solid feel with nice matte black rubber, attractive looks, and small profile. They have great sound for the price point, IPX-7 rating, solid voice prompts. And then for the cons, it doesn't come with a carrying case. It has a really long charge time at 2 to 3 hours, and it just has average battery life. I've gotten pretty much about 5 to 7 hours of battery life for it, and it did take about 2 to 3 hours. It actually took 2 hours and 40 minutes for me to charge from completely dead to charge. So all of their specs are pretty much right on point. The final question, are these worth the money or not? I think definitely they are worth the $30 price point. I don't know if I'd pay the $60 price point, but I definitely get them for under $30, which I think most of the time they are at. I think the three things that I like to rate everything on is cost, the sound quality, and the comfort, and it hits all three of those. It's got good cost at $30. The sound quality is good for that price point. It's not going to blow your socks off. And the comfort is pretty good. It's not going to be super great for super long periods of time, but if you're just going out for a workout or wearing them while you're out and about or doing something really quick, you're going to be fine if it's under the 2-hour mark, because that's when I started to feel stuff, is after kind of the 2-hour mark with these guys. And then with the IPX-7 rating, if you're a guy that sweats a lot or a girl that sweats a lot, I highly recommend these because you're not going to break these with sweat. And if you want to try them in the shower, you're more than welcome to. Just know that you're risking possibly breaking these, and for sure don't press any buttons. Anyways, that is all I've got for this review. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. And of course, if you've been following my content for a while, please do subscribe. And I will see you and your beautiful face on the next one. See ya, and God bless.